Have you ever just looked at a plant and wondered, what's going on in there? It sounds like something out of a movie, right? But believe it or not, we are on the absolute verge of decoding how plants communicate, not just with each other, but with us. So let's dive into this secret language together. I mean, really think about that question. It's the kind of thing you wonder about as a kid, but now it's a serious scientific pursuit. What if we could actually ask a crop what it needs? Or what if a forest could warn us that a fire is about to break out?
And here's the kicker. They are talking all the time. The breakthrough isn't that we're getting them to speak. It's that we're finally building the technology to understand their language. We're learning how to listen in. Now, to really wrap your head around this, you have to completely change how you see plants. For centuries, we've kind of viewed them as passive, almost like little green machines. But the latest science reveals they're incredibly complex, social beings with multiple very distinct languages. This shift in understanding is a massive leap. We're moving from just observing plants, waiting for a leaf to turn yellow to tell us something is wrong, to actually having a conversation with them. We can catch their warning signals long before there are any visible signs of trouble. So what are these languages? Well, the first one is visual, the language of color. The best way to think about it is that a plant's leaves and flowers are like a biological dashboard, where every change in hue is a direct genetic response to stress. The key chemical messengers here are called anthocyanins. Now, they're not just there to make flowers look pretty for pollinators. They are a super complex defense mechanism, a visual signal that the plant is mobilizing to protect itself from all kinds of threats. And what's remarkable is just how specific this language is. It's not random at all. For example, under heat stress, a loropetalum plant will ramp up its anthocyanin production, turning a deeper red or purple to protect its ability to photosynthesize. If an amaryllis bulb gets wounded, its white tissue turns a reddish-orange as it rushes defensive compounds right to the site of the injury. And get this, for impatiens, if there's too much copper in the soil, its pink flowers can actually turn white because the stress messes with the genes that transport those pigments. Each color is like a specific word. Okay, let's move to the second language, and this one is completely invisible. If color is the plant's billboard, then scent is its wireless internet, a whole network of airborne messages carrying urgent information. They do this by releasing these tiny chemicals called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs for short. These are molecules that travel through the air, and they carry incredibly detailed messages about threats, about potential allies, and just the general state of a local environment. And this system is just a brilliant defense strategy. So picture this. A plant gets chewed on by a caterpillar. It immediately lets out a very specific blend of these VOCs. This scent acts like an early warning for its neighbors, who can start producing their own defensive chemicals before the caterpillar even gets to them. But it gets even better. That same scent acts as a dinner bell, attracting parasitic wasps that just happen to prey on that exact type of caterpillar. It's not just a scream, it's a targeted call for backup. For a long time, scientists wondered how plants actually smelled these signals. Well, the answer came in a groundbreaking 2024 study. Researchers discovered a specific molecular receptor in petunias, which they called Pki2 petunia. This is, for all intents and purposes, a molecular nose. It can identify specific scent molecules, proving that plants really do have a true molecular sense of smell. Now, the third language is maybe the most mysterious of all, because it's happening entirely out of sight, down in the complex world beneath our feet. We're talking about a silent, chemical dialogue managed by the plant's roots. Plants are basically silent engineers of their own soil. From their roots, they release this cocktail of chemicals known as root exudates. And these aren't just waste products. No, they are targeted messages designed to recruit helpful allies, repel enemies, and actively manage the trillions of microbes living in the soil right around them. So what are these messages saying? Well, some exudates act as a chemical invitation to beneficial bacteria that help the plant grow. Others are really specific signals, like the ones legumes release to tell rhizobium bacteria, hey, it's time to start building those nitrogen-fixing nodules. And some of them activate these vast fungal networks that help the plant absorb more nutrients. They are literally cultivating their own support system. But perhaps the most mind-bending discovery here is that plants use nucleosides, yep,
the building blocks of our DNA, as a universal attractant for bacteria. The fact that this signal works on so many different microbes, even from totally different environments, suggests it might be part of an ancient universal language of life, one that we might actually share with both plants and bacteria. Okay, so we've got these incredibly complex languages: color, scent, and root chemistry. But how do we listen to them all at once? Well, that's where a new concept comes in: the Integrative Epigenomic Agricultural System, or IEAS. Just think of it as a technological bridge between our world and theirs, a universal plant translator. The difference this makes is just profound. You see, traditional agriculture is reactive. We see a yellow leaf and we react, but by that point, the plant has already been suffering for a while. This new paradigm is proactive. It's about listening to the plant's earliest, most subtle whispers of distress and meeting its needs before there's even a visible problem. So how does it actually work? First, you have a network of sensors gathering all the data: hyperspectral cameras for color, electronic noses for scents, and soil samplers for root chemistry. Second, an AI takes this flood of information and identifies what's called a multimodal signature. That's the unique combination of signals that means I'm thirsty or I'm being attacked by a fungus. Third, the AI translates this into a simple diagnosis. And finally, a farmer wearing augmented reality glasses can literally look out at their field and see a communication halo around each plant, showing its real-time status and what it needs. The source material puts it perfectly. The AI becomes a simultaneous interpreter for the language of plants. It takes in the complex, multi-layered language of the plant and translates it in real time into actionable human language. And this technology has implications that go far, far beyond the farm. It really points toward a future of symbiotic coexistence between us and the natural world. Just imagine forests that can send a digital alert the moment a fire starts. Imagine city trees acting as a living sensor network, reporting on air quality block by block. Crops could essentially order their own water and fertilizer, eliminating waste. This allows us to finally shift from a relationship where we try to control nature to one of true collaboration with it. And that leaves us with a pretty profound final thought. We are building the tools to hear the oldest, most widespread voices on Earth. And if we can finally learn to listen to the plants, well, maybe that will teach us how to listen to the planet itself.